we got that muted. Peace, King. We are live on Instagram, and we are live here on YouTube, most likely on Facebook as well. I hear it. Maybe it won't be a problem. I got my brother right here. He's already on camera. So I got my brother Dylan's room in the house. And we are trying to set up some sort of makeshift. Maybe you could use the... Are you live right now?
No, I just cut it off.
You cut it off?
Yeah,
okay.
They were too worried about it.
All right.
Oh, that's it.
So, you already know who's in the house. We got an ill beat maker, an ill music man. I need to learn a lot about you today.
Appreciate it.
In a short amount of time, and let's share the camera together as I bring you onto camera right now. Please introduce yourself to the people. I got you on screen as Dylan at Dylan's room for IG.
Yeah.
Underscore at Dylan's _ room.
Yeah, that's right.
Dope.
Yeah.
Okay, and here you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Dylan's room. I'm a producer out from Atlanta, and I'm a beat conductor. That's pretty much it. It's me.
Okay. We have a very humble man in the house, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, he's just an incredible musician that we've come to know very recently, and
Appreciate that.
Look forward to getting to know you more today, hopefully. So I start off with some questions that take us through a journey maybe of your life, and
Okay.
it depends on how much you are willing to open up.
Sure.
And what you want to share, what we'll know. At what age did you discover your creativity? Just your creativity in general.
I can't even remember. Like, even when I was a kid, like, I didn't play with toys. Like, like, I would take them apart, learn about them, and figure out new ways about them. I would always, like, painted as a kid. I didn't play with other kids. I wasn't into knights and trucks or whatever. Like, I was into dissecting something and, and, like, learning about them and, stuff like that, I was a very different child.
So you'd say before you even remember?
Yeah, I was always trying to find some way to be creative before that even set in, yeah.
And so your initial creativity was just a general sort of curiosity.
Yeah, my creativity probably stems from my curiosities, yeah.
What medium is it the same that you express yourself in today, or in the medium that you express yourself in today, which I know is not that, do you pull from all sources? Yeah,
I definitely do. It's funny you bring that up because I had this conversation with this dude the other day, and he told me that musicians, people play music and stuff, it's a form of expressing yourself for the people that can't express themselves. You know what I mean? So I think I always had troubles talking about myself or giving expressions about myself.
So you're in the red chair today. You gotta let it go, man.
Yeah. So it's like I think music has always been that outlet for me, and being creative, it just allowed me to express myself without having to express myself.
How old were you when you started to take your music seriously? Or if you want to say, maybe you don't want to say your age, how many years ago?
Man. I don't know. That's kind of hard to say because I first started making beats when I was 12.
12 years old.
I was 12 years old when I first started making beats, and then when I was 13, I discovered who Doom was, and then therefore like stone's throw, like Dilla, all that stuff was.
Okay.
And so
at 13.
Yeah, and so
and where are you from? Where did you discover this at? What part of the country were you living in?
Oh, I'm from Georgia.
Georgia, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in Georgia my whole life, but
what part of Georgia?
So I've lived in 3 places my whole life. I've lived in Douglasville, lived in Atlanta, lived in Cobb.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
yeah. I was born in Cobb.
Okay.
But yeah, and then I was kind of raised a bit in Douglasville and here. So, but what was the question?
The question, you were going into your influences of Dilla, and when you finding him at 13, because I said
I found him when I was
when did you take care
13, and I've kind of got down in this like rabbit hole of like how like things were done, how they did it, and how if I could imitate that, you know, and I really got into them, and I guess I've always taken that very, very seriously. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do with it exactly, you know, but I knew that if I kept studying and being a student, that it would land me somewhere eventually.
Was there a life, something that happened in your life in particular, or just it's something that you've known since 12 and?
Oh, well, when I was around 8 years old, my father passed away from a drug overdose, and I think that caused a lot of division in my family, and so me, you know, being 8 years old, you can't talk about, you know, your certain feelings and stuff like that because you can't express it, and I think that kind of snowballed my creativity a bit because it was like, I'm feeling this way, how can I express this creativity, you know, and that I think that's how that turned into that.
That's a very large obstacle in your life at such an early age.
Yeah.
At such an early age. Were you close with your dad? Do you remember? Do you even remember?
I do.
Anymore?
Yeah. No. I definitely remember. Remember my dad. It's hard. It's hard when at a young age like that, a masculine figure in your life just disappears like that. You know. Furthermore, it gets harder when you get older. You know what I mean? Into those teen years and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I can relate.
Yeah, you know. So it was hard, you know, but
you're on camera alone right now.
Oh, okay. But what was the question? Sorry.
No, there's no question at this moment. It was just were you close to your dad?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I was to as much as an 8-year-old could be. Yeah. But it's crazier is like the older I got, the more I craved, you know, those masculine figures in my life, you know. But so short answer, yeah.
So we're on camera together. I was separated from my father at probably about 5 years old. Didn't see him anymore. So it's a bit younger than you.
Yeah.
But then when I was in my 30s, I reconnected for a few years while I met my sister in New York, and it wasn't a fruitful relationship,
right?
To say the least. And rest in peace. He passed a few years later without ever really connecting with me or my children. So that's a chain. A chain of broken chains, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my family, that I'm trying to not repeat for my children.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like my father, like my granddad, rather, complete piece of shit. You know?
Oh wow.
Like, you know, I don't know.
We are on YouTube, so
yeah. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm not trying to slander anybody too much, but I call it how I see it. He's a piece of shit.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Okay. He left him, you know, and I blame a lot of what his issues that he had, the lack of him not being in his life too. You know what I mean? He got hooked on, you know, opioids, and you know, there's a lot of things that go in those kind of situations. But specifically, you know, I think, you know, that stems from daddy issues, you know. So fuck you, wherever you at.
Okay. So that's we are live, and that's just I'm taking the camera from you for a moment. If you need to recover or recuperate from your shots fired. This is live and this is real talk. You know what I'm saying? We're not editing. The live goes out as it is, and that's just what it is. You reap what you sow in this world. So let me give you back the camera. Let me share the screen with you. That was real. That was some.
Didn't mean throw some bombs.
Yeah, that was powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is not some other people's interview. You know what I'm saying? This is not Vlad. I'm not gonna ask you questions that incriminate you.
Yeah.
I am gonna ask you how you define your artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Flo Tricks is here. My man Flo Tricks is from India. He's in the house. Dope MC.
Yeah.
Dope lyricist. Yes. Peace, King. Peace.
Yeah.
I owe you a track, man. I know. I gotta write. But it's they reminisce over you. I gotta do it justice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gotta be in the right frame of mind to do it. How do you define your artistry? Excuse me for that.
Kind of a melting pot in a way. Like, I'm very, very hip hop, but at the same time some of my greatest influences also come out of it. Like, I have very strong jazz influences and very strong, like, Ethiopian jazz.
Those are your influences, but how do you define your artistry? Like, I call you live. I call it live production, but I don't know what you call it. What do you call yourself? Yeah.
Okay.
Like, most people don't want to put themselves in a box, right?
Right.
I've decided to call myself a rapper writer, a songwriter rapper, because it's easy to understand what that means. It means I write songs and I rap. I can do more than I you know what I'm saying? I can write more than I can do.
Yeah. I am. Man, it's really hard to say, It's because when it's
you don't want to put yourself in a box. That's cool.
It's not even just that. It's just like music is literally everything to me. Like, I can't even describe it most of the time. You know what I mean? So, for me, just to be like, I'm a beat conductor.
Beat conductor.
I
like that. Beat conductor. He's a beat conductor, y'all. Yeah. That's dope. Okay. All right. Have you won any awards or accolades for your work?
Nope.
No.
Well,
you're dope. We love you. We give him flowers. Y'all give him flowers. Give him flowers, man. Give him flowers. Can you tell us about one or more personal achievements or milestones that you've reached?
Musically or in general?
Musically or in general, either one. Because that's what this show is about. Our intentions mattering more than our productions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of your life, all your overall intentions are going to be divided by your productions. That's how people will look at what you did, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what do you intend to bring into this world? And then you can look at how you're getting there, because that's your productions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I go through this a lot with myself, because when I was around that age, like 14, 15, music then meant the most to me. It kept me level-headed in a way the only way I can describe it is I can't describe it. Mm-hmm. So I hope to be that person to someone else out there that was me. I want to be a figure to my 15, 14-year-old self, through music. That's ideal for me.
Okay. Well, that's kind of our next question. So, you haven't reached a personal milestone yet for the last question, because that's the answer.
That is the goal, the milestone overall. Like,
I'm sure you've had people come up and tell you. I've seen people come up and tell you that you're inspirational. I've seen that. Yeah. So then, what are you saying? Like,
I'm not dismissing any of those people, of course, but like, I just want. I think in a way it's like I'm trying to prove something to myself, my younger self. You know what I mean? And I guess until I get to that, that is the milestone. You know.
You know, my man, real wise dude, Yamas, I promise, said this last week. You know, he's like, I don't touch the ganja because it'll never be like that first hit.
Yeah.
You know, and so years ago he stopped, and it's, you know, if you're trying to prove something to your younger self, you might be trying to reach something that you can never reach.
Potentially, yeah, but it has been the motivation in my life.
Okay, respect. How has your artistry impacted the world? And part two, how do you want to impact the world with your art? So that could be one. You can answer them separately. You can answer them together.
All right, we'll do them separately.
Okay.
So what was the first one?
How has your artistry impacted the world?
I think right now, I think I'm showing possibilities right now a little bit, you know, with getting people's attention, you know, I think I'm trying to like drive musical narratives, you know, because I feel like we've been, especially Atlanta, been very, very stuck, you know, musically, I feel, and I think, you know, it being going into the 2020s, I think I'm trying to help push, you know, like we're Atlanta, we can do so much more. You know what I mean? I'm really trying to push that kind of narrative. And what was the second one?
So that's the second one. How do you want to impact the world with your art?
Okay, yeah, there you go, yeah.
You want to push the narrative. You want to shift the narrative to what? So how has your artistry impacted the world? What do you want to shift the narrative to? What do you want people
I want to show that we can be significantly musically inclined. You know, I want Atlanta, to me, I don't think we've hit the same like strides like, you know, New York has in the 90s, and like what West Coast like G-Funk stuff was able to do. It's like Atlanta, don't get me wrong, like we've driven, we're top right now when it comes to hip hop, you know, mainstream. But I think that we can also be very musically inclined. You know, like I think that's the thing I want to show is like there's a whole nother side of Atlanta that unless you're in Atlanta you don't really see. You know, and I really want people to get the full picture, not just what like mainstream figureheads wants you to see. You know, I want to see like this is what Atlanta. This is what ATL means.
You want to like highlight Atlanta's underground.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Okay. There's more to Atlanta than what the rest of the country thinks there is.
Yeah.
I feel that. Have you had any? It's 4:44. Have you had any difficulty in this industry, or do you remember any times that you wanted to stop?
I don't remember a time where I wanted to stop, for sure. There's not one time where I was like, "Nah, this ain't for me. That's not for me." That's not crossed my mind. Unfortunately, to some extent, but.
But can you remember any difficulty that you had?
Yeah.
Do you want to share? You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can
Look,
if you want
I'll just say
you are in the red chair.
It's the politicking. That's what's really hard. You know, because there's a lot of manipulation in the game.
You're on camera alone again. Just letting you know. Just sometimes you might want to talk to the people directly. You know?
Like there's a lot of manipulation in this game, and there's some point where you need to sit here and ask yourself, do I want to play this manipulation game, or do I want to try to do this honestly and really, really hard? And that's, to me, that's the closest crossroads I've came across. And all you artists out there, I want to really ask you, what are you here for? Are you here just to get some money and play the game and manipulate? Or are you here to, you know, try to help people change lives and really express yourself musically? You know, but yeah. That's what I gotta say to that.
What? What? What?
Yeah.
That's a direct question to you, artist. What are you here for?
Yeah.
What are you here for? Let me share the camera with you. I just took it from you for a quick moment.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, now a shift in the conversation. You get to work with any artist from any discipline.
Oh, I love these questions.
Any era, dead or alive. It doesn't even have to be music. It could be anybody, but it's only one person. Who do you choose on a project? It could
One
be
person ever?
No, just for a project. For
One
one, you get to work. Just anybody you want for a song or an album. Who do you choose and why? This one person.
Bro, why you gotta make it so hard?
It's a
See,
shift,
my answer for a long time was Doom. Was MF Doom. It's because I hold him in such a close regard to me, but man, I don't know. I really don't know.
These are the questions.
See,
you can't even prepare for it. You can't even prepare.
See, I would, because it's hard because he's just like just one, you know, dead or alive. You know, parts of me also wants to say like some like jazz figure like Herbie Hancock or like, you know, or like Pharoah Sanders. Like,
yeah, I had a brother in here say Bobby Womack.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's a dope answer. See, I need to come up with a cool answer like that.
Yeah,
know?
No, you know, whoever you want, whatever.
Thelonious Monk.
Bobby Plays, man. Bobby Plays he was my first interviewee, my first guest.
Man, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say. Because there's so many great figures that are a direct cause of my sound, you know, and just to pick one is just feels almost like blasphemous.
Okay. So kind of the same question, I guess, or along the lines of where you're going. What sources do you use for your inspiration, and how do you continue to create music?
You know, the greats. That's how I look at it. You know, my
Your sources are the greats.
Yeah, like what I see as the greats. You know, like I said, I just talked about my jazz influences. You know, like the Dillas out there and stuff like that. Just figures I really see like just shift whole paradigms. You know, culturally, musically. Those always are my go-tos. You know, it's like, man, what did they do? What did they do? And how can I learn from what they did? And I would just study it. So yeah, that's more or less my answer.
And how do you continue to create music? How do you what keeps you going? Because you're, you know, you said you haven't won any awards yet. So what keeps you going?
Curiosity, man. Just curiosity. Just continuously that wanting, that earning to learn, seeing where this thing goes and things like that. Like, you know, earlier I said I was a beat conductor. I'm more like a beat like scientist. You know, like I definitely mix shit and like, where is this thing gonna go? What happens if I do this, and that? That's more me. You know,
beat scientist.
I'm more like a beat kind of like scientist in a way.
Beat scientist.
Yeah.
Beat scientist. I will always remember that. I will share that. What have been your biggest influences? The greats, right? So in hip hop, you're talking about Premier, Dilla, Madlib. Who are you talking about? Who are your greats?
The greats, like a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, who are your greats? Because I need some specifics. All right. You haven't given me any specifics in the interview.
Dilla, Pharoah Sanders. How many? It was like 5.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Those two for sure.
Dope. I need to start playing music. I need to figure out how to like add in.
Have some shit in the background.
I need to figure out how to start adding in some music to the set.
You should get.
I got Spreaker, but I need to I don't know how to play this through Spreaker.
You should get a pod track. You can load in sounds and just trigger them and shit.
Like actual sounds, right?
Yeah. You can load in music and just play some music. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Where was that? Pharoah Sanders. I'll say Doom, just because it holds such a special place in my heart. Man, It's
Dilla,
hard because I'm going
Pharoah
through
Sanders.
this,
Okay.
going through the list in my head. I'm just trying to think like who would I really just put on my Mount Rushmore.
That's a tough question because a
It
lot of
is.
people, like, it's really, it's kind of offensive to have like a top 4 or a top 5. There's so
Yeah,
many
in a way,
different
yeah.
dope people in different categories.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm just trying to think of who inspired me the most. Just like it's like grabbing at straws,
Okay, respect. I feel that.
So yeah,
Let me ask you, can you describe your creative process? Because I've heard quite a few beats that you make, and I would like to know. What can you describe your creative process?
Yeah, I can actually. My creative process is if I hear it's very very strange. I'm not gonna lie. So if I first thing that I do is listen to samples, and I actually use the algorithm to find my samples. So I'll go and I'll start saving tracks that are like no one's ever heard of. Like they got like 5,000 plays or something like that. And it was back from from the 1970s or something like that.
The algorithm.
Yeah, and I'll save it and I'll just continue listening to them, and I'll find like very very small parts that I think are super interesting, have cool like envelopes to them and kind of textures and stuff to them. And most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, I'll stretch them out. Like I'll stretch them out super 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 far, and I will play them chromatically, And it's something I learned from 2 people, Dilla because of his micro chopping abilities, and 2, Herbie Hancock. It's a really cool story where Herbie Hancock was getting bored of playing music, and he was like, "Damn, what I do?" And Miles Davis was like, "Don't play the butter notes," and he took that on by like, "Oh, I'll detune the keys and play like that." I took that same approach to sampling. I'm like, okay, what if I just like start detuning these samples and play them out chromatically, what would that sound like? And lo and behold, that's Dylan's room sound.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you when you did it, lo and behold, you did it without knowing that was Dilla's technique. You found that out afterwards.
I knew that was Dilla's technique.
Okay.
I learned Dilla's technique and I applied that into my own concept. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm more of a beat scientist. Like I do my research, I understand, I learn, and then I apply it to other things. Like I'm saying, like people don't realize like hip hop and jazz is not very far.
Oh yeah.
Genre wise, like it's
we
super
know.
similar. So it's like
I think the people watching this podcast know. I'm gonna just step in right now. I think the people watching this one.
Yeah. So it was just kind of weird to me that no one's ever really done that. That no one took these crazy chopper techniques that was born in hip hop and combine it with like jazz music theory.
You know what I failed to do before we went live?
What's that?
I realized is I didn't change the name of this, which I can do afterwards. But while it's live right now, it probably says live with Dita Problem. Because he was my last guest.
Okay,
so I didn't change that name.
No big
deal. Thinking about that. That can be some B-roll. I'll edit that little snip for you and share that.
Yeah, that's bad, bro.
Do you create continuously, or do you create seasonally, or do you create sporadically? Like, does it just happen randomly?
It's a mixture of like I would say seasonally and like sporadically.
Okay.
Like I create continuously all the time. Like it's on my mind most of the time. You just
said all 3. You just said all 3. You just managed to say that you do all 3. You know that?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's like, that's why I make music, I'm telling you. But
oh man,
it's on my mind most of the time, if not all the time. Like I'll be out doing something like I don't know, washing dishes or something, and I'm thinking about like a sample and what I can do with it. You know what I mean? Like it's on my mind most of the time. Yeah. So I might not act on it that day, but it just sits in my head for a while, and I just act on it.
True. Do you have creative goals? I know what your creative goals are already. You already said you want to impress your younger self.
Yeah.
Do you have creative goals? Like a Grammy or 10 of them, or
nah, I don't care about
playing at some festival. Is there something?
There is some definitely be cool. I would love to work with creatively. I would love to work with my idols. I would love to work with like Madlib or
So maybe that's your person. That's the first name you said.
Yeah.
Right now, so maybe you want to work with Madlib if you could work
I would
with
love
anybody.
I would love to work with Madlib. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean that's a possibility. The brothers, putting out work. So
yeah, I mean, maybe.
You could see.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? You gotta speak it into. You gotta. The universe loves specificity.
Yeah.
You gotta be specific.
Yeah.
So do you have any, or what are your creative goals? Let me ask you that question.
My creative goals is literally just
to work with Madlib.
Work with Madlib, yeah. Like that's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Whatever happens in between. But shit, I want to work with Madlib.
Okay. Oh, for you, this would have been the perfect question, but I'm not going to ask that today. I'm not going to ask that question. Here's Lo Tyler. There's my next guest. I'm going to take this call, my brother.
Yeah,
all right? I love you.
Mm.
Peace, Lo. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Oh, your camera's off. You called me on IG with your camera off. That's cool. Are you outside? Okay. Let me let you in. I'll let you in just now. Okay. Okay. I'll come back to you and we'll close up the interview.
Yeah,
okay?
that's fine.
Just stay right there. Excuse me for the interruption. Oh, let me get the water bottle for my doggie. I know she's about to bark. She's smart. Yeah, she's beautiful. That's River. She's a sweetie pie. Hey, River. I got you right here. I got you. I got you. You know better. You know better. Good girl. Hello. Don't be scared of the bee. I got a big dog. You're scared of the bee. This is so she doesn't bark at you. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. Come on over, River. Come on. Come on. She won't jump on me. Good girl. Good girl. I'm gonna wrap up with Dylan, and then sit you down and get everything ready for you and go live. Okay?
Cool.
Good. You're good. The bathroom is right there if you need to use the restroom. Okay.
Thank you.
This is Ryan.
Lauren.
And I need to turn that up as well, because that smells very good. All right, Dylan. Oh, look at that. Got that on camera? Good. Yes, we did. It is 5:01, my brother. We started late. We're gonna end early. You can come back for another interview.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Let me ask you, your last. Do you have any words of advice for younger artists, for younger you in the future, which is keep working, right? That's your advice.
No. Yeah, more or less, yeah. Just keep working. You'll get there. If you got eyes on you, keep them eyes on you.
Cool. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you say thank you and do some sort of a sign off the Artist Must Try podcast. I'm gonna put you on camera by
Yeah.
yourself. Something that I can give you by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just give thanks, pretty much.
Just a thank you, because I thank
Yeah.
you for your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thank you, Mega Cypher. Thank you for everybody watching. You know, I appreciate y'all's time if y'all interested. You know, and any indie artists out there, it's a great place to just come and discuss your work. You know, this man's definitely open to giving time to these people, and he's a good person to have in this, you know, community. And thank you, Mega Cypher.
I love you, brother.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely,
people
bro.
where they can find you.
Yeah,
I
you can
got
find
you
me.
at Dylan's Room on there.
Yeah, you can find me on Dylan's Room on IG, just Dylan's / _ room, and yeah, you can also find me on YouTube, official Dylan's Room on YouTube. So yeah,
Dope. Is that with an underscore on YouTube?
no, I think it's one word, Dylan's Room. Yeah, official
Okay.
Dylan's Room.
Okay. This is Mega Scythe signing off on the Artist Must Try podcast. Thank you very much. Peace, love, and light. Shine your light bright. Don't turn it down ever. Remember, intentions over productions. They will get divided by them. Your intentions matter a whole lot. You gotta get the ball rolling. The artist must try. Peace, love, and light.